Close your eyes. It's November 11th, 2022. Sam Bankman-Fried is sitting in his penthouse in the Bahamas. Outside, the ocean is flat and blue. Inside, his company, once valued at $32 billion, has just filed for bankruptcy. He is 30 years old. He is wearing a wrinkled t-shirt. He has not slept in 4 days. 3 weeks ago, he was on the cover of Forbes. Time magazine called him potentially the world's first trillionaire. He was flying private jets, donating millions to political campaigns, testifying before Congress about the future of finance. He had a documentary crew following him around. Now the documentary crew is gone. The senators are not returning his calls. 1 million customers cannot access their money. He opens his laptop and starts writing a tweet. "I'm sorry," it begins. It is the most expensive apology in history. The story begins in Stanford, California, March 6, 1992. The son of 2 esteemed law professors at Stanford University, Joseph Bankman and Barbara Fried. Sam grew up surrounded by the hum of intellectual discourse, a world where ideas were currency and critical thinking was nurtured. Raised in an environment where questions were as important as answers, young Sam naturally gravitated towards numbers and ethics, finding beauty in their logic and order. His childhood was marked by an early fascination with the intricacies of the world, a curiosity that propelled him into the halls of Crystal Springs Uplands School in Hillsborough, a place known for cultivating gifted minds. Here, Sam's passion for solving complex problems took root, setting the stage for a future where these skills would be tested against the ever-shifting landscape of global finance. It was at MIT, during the formative years of his education, that Sam encountered the philosophy that would shape his life: effective altruism. In 2010, a thought-provoking essay by philosopher Peter Singer, titled Famine, Affluence, and Morality, challenged Sam to reconsider how he could use his talents for maximum impact. The idea was simple yet profound: do the most good with the resources you have. For Sam, this was more than a philosophy. It became a guiding principle. At MIT, he met Will MacAskill, a leading figure in the effective altruism movement, who further inspired Sam to harness his skills towards the greater good. Sam graduated in 2014 with a degree in physics, armed not just with knowledge, but with a mission. He embarked on a career at Jane Street Capital, a top quantitative trading firm, where he honed his skills in trading and finance. This experience was transformative, teaching him the inner workings of financial markets and the art of risk-taking. It was here, amidst the relentless pursuit of profit and precision, that Sam's vision of earning to give crystallized. He saw wealth not as an end, but as a means to an end, a resource to be leveraged for altruistic purposes. In the Bahamas, from a luxury penthouse, Sam founded FTX, a cryptocurrency exchange that, in a few short years, would rise to become the world's second largest. The rapid ascent of FTX was nothing short of meteoric, a testament to Sam's ambition and financial acumen. But beneath the surface of success, the very beliefs that had propelled him to prominence were sowing the seeds of his undoing. This is Satoshi's lullaby. Tonight, let history wash over you like a tide. The waters are deep and the current is strong. The story of Sam Bankman-Fried is not just one of ambition and downfall. It is a story that invites us to question our own values, to ponder the boundaries of ethics and ambition. It's a tale of a boy who sought to save the world and the complex journey that ensued. A journey that begins now as we open Chapter 1. The story of Sam Bankman-Fried is not just one of ambition and downfall. It is a story that invites us to question our own values, to ponder the boundaries of ethics and ambition. It's a tale of a boy who sought to save the world and the complex journey that ensued. A journey that begins now as we open Chapter 1. Born on March 6, 1992 in Stanford, California, Sam's life was set against a backdrop of intellectual pursuit and academic excellence. His parents, Joseph Bankman and Barbara Fried, were esteemed law professors at Stanford University. This environment, steeped in scholarly discourse, nurtured Sam's early curiosity and analytical mind. As a child, he was surrounded by discussions on law, ethics, and the complexities of human decision-making. Stanford, a place where the pursuit of knowledge is relentless, played a significant role in shaping Sam's worldview. It was here that he began to explore his fascination with numbers and problem-solving. By the time he attended Crystal Springs Upland School in Hillsborough, California, Sam was already known for his mathematical prowess. His teachers described him as a student who not only excelled academically, but was also deeply interested in the ethical implications of his studies. In the early 2000s, the world was changing rapidly with the rise of technology and the internet. The influence of Silicon Valley loomed large over the Bay Area, inspiring young minds to dream of innovation and impact. Sam was no exception. He was captivated by the idea that technology could be a force for good, a tool to address some of the world's most pressing problems. This belief would later become a driving force in his life and career. As Sam grew, so did his interest in ethical philosophy. In 2010, Peter Singer, a prominent philosopher, published Famine, Affluence, and Morality, a work that would profoundly influence Sam's thinking. The concept of effective altruism, which emerged from Singer's ideas, advocates for using reason and evidence to do the most good. It challenged individuals to consider the impact of their actions and resources on a global scale. When Sam enrolled at the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, MIT, in 2010, he was eager to delve deeper into these philosophical questions. At MIT, he majored in physics, a field that requires precision and logical reasoning. Yet it was not just the academics that shaped his experience. It was at MIT that he encountered Will MacAskill, a key figure in the effective altruism movement. MacAskill introduced Sam to a community that encouraged him to think critically about how he could maximize his positive impact on the world. Their discussions often revolved around the ethical use of wealth and the responsibility of those who possess it to address issues like poverty and global health. For Sam, this was not just a philosophical exercise, but a call to action. Graduating from MIT in 2014, Sam was at a crossroads. He had a solid education, a passion for making a difference, and the world at his feet. The principles of effective altruism resonated with him deeply, and he was determined to find a path that aligned with these values. His journey led him to Jane Street Capital, a prestigious quantitative trading firm known for its secretive operations and rigorous analysis. Joining Jane Street Capital was more than just a career choice for Sam. It was an opportunity to develop skills that would prove invaluable in his future endeavors. At the firm, he learned the intricacies of trading and finance, honing his ability to analyze complex data and make swift, informed decisions. The world of finance, with its high stakes and rapid pace, was a perfect fit for Sam's analytical mind. During his time at Jane Street, Sam began to see the potential for using financial markets as a means to achieve his broader goals. He envisioned a future where he could leverage his earnings not just for personal gain, but to contribute to causes that mattered to him. This ambition was rooted in the philosophy of earning to give, a central tenet of effective altruism that advocates for maximizing one's income to donate more to effective charities. As he navigated the world of quantitative trading, Sam kept his sights set on a bigger vision. He was driven by the belief that with enough wealth, he could make a significant impact on issues like global poverty and health. This belief was not just theoretical, it was the compass guiding his decisions and career trajectory. By the time he left Jane Street, Sam had a clear sense of purpose and the beginnings of a plan. The cryptocurrency boom of the late 2010s presented Sam with a unique opportunity. The decentralized nature of blockchain technology and its potential for disrupting traditional financial systems intrigued him. In cryptocurrencies, Sam saw a tool that could revolutionize how wealth was generated and distributed. It was the perfect confluence of his interests in finance, technology, and ethics. In 2017, Sam co-founded Alameda Research, a quantitative trading firm focused on cryptocurrencies. The success of Alameda Research set the stage for his next venture, FTX. Founded in 2019, FTX was not just another cryptocurrency exchange, but a platform designed to support Sam's vision of using wealth as a force for good. Operating from a luxury penthouse in the Bahamas, Sam and his team worked tirelessly to grow FTX into the world's second-largest cryptocurrency exchange. Through FTX, Sam aimed to create a financial ecosystem that empowered users while generating profits that could be directed toward philanthropic efforts. This was not a conventional approach in the business world, but for Sam, it was the embodiment of his values. He was determined to prove that financial success and societal impact could go hand in hand. Despite the challenges and complexities of the cryptocurrency market, FTX thrived under Sam's leadership. His vision attracted not only investors, but also individuals who shared his commitment to effective altruism. Together, they worked toward a future where the boundaries between profit and philanthropy were blurred, where every financial decision was made with the greater good in mind. As we conclude this chapter, we find Sam Bankman-Fried at a pivotal moment in his journey. He stands on the precipice of unprecedented success, driven by a desire to leverage his achievements for global impact. Yet the path ahead is fraught with challenges and ethical dilemmas that will test the very foundations of his beliefs. In the next chapter, we will explore the rise of FTX and the revolutionary ideas that propelled Sam to the forefront of the cryptocurrency world. Sam Bankman-Fried's journey into the world of effective altruism began during his years at the Massachusetts Institute of Technology. In 2010, the groundwork for his philosophical awakening was already being laid. That year, philosopher Peter Singer published a seminal essay, Famine, Affluence, and Morality, which challenged conventional notions of charity and obligation. Singer's ideas, arguing for the ethical imperative to do the most good with one's resources, resonated with many young thinkers, including Sam. MIT, a hub of intellectual rigor and innovation, offered Sam an environment rich in both challenge and inspiration. Born on March 6, 1992, and nurtured in an academic household in Stanford, California, he was accustomed to debates at the dinner table that stretched the limits of conventional wisdom. His parents, Joseph Bankman and Barbara Fried, were not only professors of law, but also spirited interlocutors who encouraged his philosophical inquiries. In 2012, during his sophomore year, Sam encountered effective altruism in a more structured form. It was the year he crossed paths with Will MacAskill, a charismatic advocate of the movement. MacAskill, then still a PhD student, had co-founded Giving What We Can and was visiting MIT to speak about this burgeoning philosophy. His talk, infused with logic and compassion, left a lasting imprint on Sam. Effective altruism, a movement predicated on applying evidence and reason to determine the most effective ways to improve the world, was more than a philosophy for Sam. It was a call to action. He found the ideas not only intellectually stimulating, but also deeply aligned with his personal values. Here was a framework that married his interests in math and ethics, providing a method to quantify and maximize positive impact. Sam's embrace of effective altruism influenced his academic focus at MIT. While he pursued a degree in physics, the principles of doing the most good became an undercurrent in his thought process and decision-making. He joined the campus chapter of the Effective Altruism Network and participated in discussions that further solidified his commitment to the cause. This philosophical foundation would later guide his career choices, and philanthropic strategies. In 2014, Sam graduated from MIT and faced the crossroad of choosing a career path. He had long been intrigued by the financial world, where numbers could translate into significant real-world effects. It was this fascination, coupled with his desire to earn substantial wealth to give away, that led him to Jane Street Capital. As a quantitative trading firm, Jane Street offered him the dual promise of sharpening his analytical skills and amassing the resources necessary to realize his altruistic ambitions. The move to Jane Street marked a pivotal shift in Sam's trajectory. The firm, known for its secretive yet prestigious status in the finance world, became a fertile ground for honing the skills that would later prove instrumental in his ventures. At Jane Street, Sam learned the intricacies of trading, particularly the importance of making decisions based on data and probability. This analytical precision became a cornerstone of his approach, whether in trading or philanthropy. Amidst the high-paced life at Jane Street, Sam never lost sight of his altruistic goals. His colleagues often found him engrossed in discussions about ethics and effective giving, topics that he believed should be as integral to trading as the algorithms they crafted. It was during this period that Sam began to formulate a vision for his future, one where he could merge his financial expertise with his moral imperatives. As the years at Jane Street progressed, Sam's thoughts increasingly turned to the burgeoning field of cryptocurrency. He saw it as a frontier with untapped potential, both for financial gain and for facilitating global change. The decentralized nature of cryptocurrencies, alongside their capacity for rapid innovation, presented an opportunity too compelling to ignore. In 2017, armed with his knowledge from Jane Street and his commitment to effective altruism, Sam decided to take a leap into this new arena. The launch of Alameda Research, a quantitative cryptocurrency trading firm, marked Sam's first major foray into the crypto world. Within a short span, the firm became a powerhouse, known for its sophisticated trading strategies and market influence. This success provided Sam not only with wealth, but also with the credibility and network to pursue larger ventures. Sam's next move was audacious, yet calculated. In 2019, he founded FTX, a cryptocurrency exchange that aimed to address the inefficiencies and limitations he had observed in existing platforms. Based in a luxury penthouse in the Bahamas, the exchange quickly gained traction, drawing users with its innovative features and competitive fees. By 2021, FTX had risen to become the second largest cryptocurrency exchange globally, a testament to Sam's vision and execution. Throughout this meteoric rise, Sam remained committed to the principles of effective altruism. He frequently spoke about his belief in earning to give, a philosophy that justified his accumulation of wealth as a means to a benevolent end. Yet as the scale and complexity of his ventures grew, so too did the ethical challenges and questions surrounding his methods. With FTX's success came scrutiny. Observers and critics began to dissect not just his business strategies, but also the philosophical underpinnings of his actions. Sam's adherence to effective altruism was seen by some as a moral compass, but by others as a convenient justification for aggressive financial tactics. This tension between idealism and pragmatism became a defining feature of his public persona. As the chapter on the rise of FTX closes, the stage is set for deeper exploration of the philosophy that guided these endeavors. In the next chapter, we will delve into the philosophy of wealth, examining how Sam's beliefs shaped his strategies and the ethical implications that followed. The story continues to unfold, revealing the complex interplay between ambition, ethics, and the unyielding pursuit of doing good in a world fraught with challenges. The story continues to unfold, revealing the complex interplay between ambition, ethics, and the unyielding pursuit of doing good in a world fraught with challenges. After graduating from MIT in 2014 with a degree in physics, Sam Bankman-Fried found himself navigating the corridors of financial excellence at Jane Street Capital. Nestled within the bustling heart of New York City, Jane Street was renowned as one of the most secretive yet prestigious quantitative trading firms in the world. The company was founded in 2000 and had built its reputation on a rigorous approach to trading that combined mathematics and computer science with an intricate understanding of the markets. Known for its flat organizational structure and a culture that fostered collaboration over competition, Jane Street was a place where Sam's analytical mind could thrive. Here he was surrounded by a cohort of similarly brilliant thinkers, each striving to decode the complex symphony of global financial markets. In this environment, Sam's skills in trading and finance were honed with surgical precision. He was not merely executing trades, but was engaging with a deeper philosophy of finance, one that challenged him to think critically about risk, reward, and the very purpose of capital. It was also at Jane Street that Sam began to truly immerse himself in the ideas of effective altruism, the movement he had become enchanted with during his college years. Founded on the principles articulated by philosopher Peter Singer in his 1972 essay, Famine, Affluence, and Morality, effective altruism encouraged individuals to use their resources to maximize the overall good. Sam's encounters with Will MacAskill, one of the leading voices in this movement, further solidified his commitment to this cause. The ethos of earning to give became a guiding principle for Sam, who saw his burgeoning financial acumen as a tool not for personal enrichment, but for amplifying his ability to make a difference in the world. At Jane Street, Sam was part of a team that specialized in arbitrage trading, a method of capitalizing on price discrepancies in different markets. This was a realm where split-second decisions could mean millions of dollars gained or lost. The pressure was intense, yet Sam thrived, learning to balance the high-stakes environment with his personal mission of doing the most good. It was in this crucible of high finance that Sam began to contemplate the vast potential of cryptocurrencies. By 2017, the world of digital assets was experiencing unprecedented growth, with Bitcoin and Ethereum capturing the imagination of investors worldwide. Sensing an opportunity, Sam decided it was time to strike out on his own. Leaving Jane Street was not a decision made lightly. The firm had been more than just a workplace. It had been a proving ground that shaped his professional ethos and technical expertise. However, the call of the nascent cryptocurrency world was too compelling to ignore. In 2017, Sam founded Alameda Research, a quantitative trading firm, to exploit the inefficiencies he observed in the cryptocurrency markets. The firm quickly became a powerhouse, with Sam and his team executing trades worth millions of dollars daily. Yet, Sam's ambitions did not stop at trading alone. His vision extended to creating a platform that could democratize access to cryptocurrencies for the masses. This vision took shape with the founding of FTX in 2019, a cryptocurrency exchange that would soon rival the giants of the industry. Operating initially out of a penthouse in the Bahamas, FTX's growth was meteoric. The platform was lauded for its innovative features, such as tokenized stock trading and prediction markets, and within 2 years, FTX had become the second largest cryptocurrency exchange in the world. Sam was hailed as a wunderkind of the crypto industry, a title that he accepted with the humility of someone who believed his work was far from over. Through FTX, Sam sought to channel the principles of effective altruism into practice. He committed significant portions of his wealth to philanthropic endeavors, pledging to donate billions over his lifetime. This wasn't mere rhetoric. In 2020, Sam and his team were instrumental in the creation of the FTX Foundation, which aimed to tackle some of the world's most pressing issues, from global poverty to pandemic preparedness. The Foundation's initiatives were guided not just by a desire to help, but by a commitment to data-driven impact. Amidst the accolades and achievements, however, there lay a labyrinth of ethical and financial complexities. The rapid rise of FTX brought with it a host of challenges: regulatory scrutiny, market volatility, and the ever-present pressure to innovate at breakneck speed. Internally, the culture at FTX was one of relentless ambition. The team worked long hours, driven by a shared belief in the transformative potential of cryptocurrencies. Despite the outward success, Sam was acutely aware of the precariousness of his position. The cryptocurrency market was notoriously unpredictable, and maintaining the delicate balance between innovation and regulation proved increasingly difficult. In interviews, he often spoke candidly about his fears of a market downturn or regulatory misstep that could unravel everything he had built. These fears were not unfounded, as the world of cryptocurrencies was rife with stories of overnight collapses and devastating losses. Yet, Sam remained resolute, driven by a conviction that his work was contributing to a future where technology could be harnessed to solve global problems. This belief was both his guiding light and a source of immense pressure. The stakes were high, not just for him personally, but for the countless investors and users who had placed their trust in FTX. As the company expanded, so too did the expectations placed upon Sam's shoulders. As we pull back the curtain to peer into the world that Sam Bankman-Fried was striving to create, we are reminded of the fine line he walked between visionary leadership and the looming specter of failure. The lessons of Jane Street, the ideals of effective altruism, and the unfathomable complexity of the cryptocurrency market were all threads woven into the fabric of his story. Yet as the narrative of FTX's rise took center stage, the shadows of risk and ethical dilemmas loomed larger still. In the next chapter, we will delve deeper into the philosophical underpinnings of Sam's approach to wealth, an approach that would challenge traditional notions of success and morality. In the next chapter, we will delve deeper into the philosophical underpinnings of Sam's approach to wealth, an approach that would challenge traditional notions of success and morality. But first, let's explore the turning point that marked Sam Bankman-Fried's transition from an ambitious trader to a pivotal figure in the world of cryptocurrency. The story of FTX begins not in the comfort of Wall Street, but in the vibrant, chaotic world of cryptocurrencies. It was 2017, and Sam was fresh off his tenure at Jane Street Capital. There, he had honed a sharp instinct for trading, an eye for arbitrage, and a deep understanding of market dynamics. The world was still grappling with the potential of digital currencies. Bitcoin had surged to $20,000, captivating the imagination of investors and skeptics alike. Many saw it as a speculative bubble, while others believed it heralded a new financial order. Sam, ever the pragmatist, saw an opportunity. Inspired by the volatile crypto markets, he envisioned a platform that could capitalize on these fluctuations. Alongside co-founder Gary Wang, a former Google engineer, Sam set out to create a cryptocurrency exchange that would stand out in a crowded field. They named it FTX. The early days were intense, marked by long hours and relentless focus. Operating from a penthouse in the Bahamas, a location chosen for its regulatory advantages and tax benefits, Sam immersed himself in the intricacies of constructing an exchange. By 2019, FTX was operational. Its distinguishing feature was a suite of innovative products tailored for professional traders. From complex derivatives to tokenized stocks, FTX offered tools that were ahead of their time, blending traditional finance with cutting-edge technology. But it wasn't just the products that set FTX apart. It was Sam's vision of what wealth could achieve. He was driven by the principles of effective altruism, a movement that advocates using evidence and reason to do the most good. This philosophy, which had shaped his worldview during his MIT days, now guided the strategic direction of FTX. Sam believed in earning to give. a concept rooted in the idea that accumulating wealth was not an end in itself, but a means to a greater purpose. His goal was to leverage FTX's success to fund high-impact charitable causes. For Sam, every trade on the platform was a step closer to saving lives and reducing suffering on a global scale. The exchange's meteoric rise was unprecedented. In less than 2 years, FTX had grown into the second largest cryptocurrency exchange in the world. By 2021, it was processing billions in daily transactions, challenging industry giants like Binance and Coinbase. Such rapid growth did not come without challenges. Regulators scrutinized the burgeoning industry, wary of its potential to disrupt traditional financial systems. FTX, like its competitors, navigated a landscape fraught with legal and ethical questions. Yet, Sam remained steadfast in his mission, assuring stakeholders of FTX's commitment to transparency and compliance. Sam's influence extended beyond the boardroom. He became a vocal advocate for cryptocurrency, engaging with policymakers and industry leaders. His testimony before the U.S. Congress in December 2021 underscored his belief in the transformative power of digital currencies. Sam argued for a regulatory framework that balanced innovation with consumer protection, striving for a future where cryptocurrencies could coexist with traditional finance. FTX's success also drew attention to Sam's unique approach to philanthropy. He pledged substantial sums to causes aligned with effective altruism, focusing on global health, animal welfare, and the prevention of existential risks. In 2021 alone, he donated over $100 million, funding projects that aimed to combat malaria, improve mental health, and mitigate the effects of climate change. Yet, despite the accolades and the achievements, whispers of skepticism persisted. Critics questioned the sustainability of FTX's aggressive growth and the ethical implications of its business practices. They pointed to the inherent volatility of cryptocurrencies and the risks associated with complex financial instruments. Sam, undeterred, continued to champion his vision. He often spoke about the long-term value of FTX, emphasizing its role as a catalyst for positive change. For him, the potential to drive global impact far outweighed the criticisms. He believed that through strategic philanthropy, it was possible to redefine success and wealth in the 21st century. As we examine this pivotal phase in Sam Bankman-Fried's journey, it's clear that the founding of FTX marked more than just a business venture. It was a manifestation of his ideals, a confluence of finance and ethics that sought to reshape the world. In building FTX, Sam not only challenged the status quo, but also offered a glimpse into what the future of wealth could entail. It was a bold experiment, one that would test the limits of utilitarian thinking and the ambitions of a young entrepreneur who wanted to save the world. In the coming chapters, we will explore the philosophy of wealth that underpinned Sam's approach. We'll delve into the ethical dilemmas and practical challenges he faced as he navigated the complex terrain of cryptocurrency and philanthropy. But as with any grand vision, the road was fraught with obstacles. The meteoric rise of FTX set the stage for dramatic events that would soon follow. Events that would not only test Sam's ideals, but ultimately alter the landscape of the cryptocurrency world forever. Join us in the next chapter as we unravel the intricate web of ethics and ambition that defined Sam Bankman-Fried's journey. A journey that would reach unprecedented heights before facing an inevitable collapse. A journey that would reach unprecedented heights before facing an inevitable collapse. Sam Bankman-Fried's belief in the power of wealth, driven by the principles of effective altruism, had led to the creation of a financial empire. Founded in 2019, FTX quickly rose to prominence, fueled by Sam's audacious vision to leverage cryptocurrency for global good. The world watched as his empire grew, with promises of philanthropy that captured the imagination of investors and idealists alike. The philosophy of wealth that Sam adhered to was not merely about accumulating money. It was about earning to give, a concept that justified the complex financial strategies and high-risk maneuvers that characterized his career. Sam's approach was grounded in the idea that immense wealth, if managed wisely, could solve some of the world's most pressing problems. This philosophy was popularized by figures like Peter Singer and Will MacAskill, whom Sam had met during his time at MIT. In the summer of 2014, Sam graduated from MIT with a degree in physics, a discipline that honed his analytical skills and reinforced his penchant for problem solving. It was during this time that he became deeply influenced by the principles of effective altruism. This movement, with its focus on maximizing the positive impact of each dollar, appealed to Sam's logical mind and ethical aspirations. Sam's career at Jane Street Capital, starting in 2014, became a crucible of learning. Jane Street, known for its secrecy and high-stakes trading environment, taught Sam the intricacies of financial markets. At this prestigious firm, he mastered the art of quantitative trading, which would later become essential in his endeavors with FTX. Yet, at its core, Sam's work remained tethered to his altruistic aspirations. He believed that his skills in trading could be the engine that powered his philanthropic dreams. By the time FTX was founded in 2019, Sam had already developed a reputation as a driven entrepreneur. Operating from a luxury penthouse in the Bahamas, FTX was built with rapid precision. It offered innovative products and features that attracted a burgeoning community of cryptocurrency enthusiasts. Within a short span, FTX became the second largest cryptocurrency exchange, a testament to Sam's strategic vision. FTX's rise was meteoric, but it was not without controversy. Sam's aggressive business tactics and the opaque nature of cryptocurrency exchanges drew scrutiny. Nonetheless, the promise of using profits for global betterment provided a compelling narrative that many investors found hard to resist. It was a high-wire act where the stakes were both financial and moral. In those days, Sam was often seen as a visionary. His speeches at conferences, like the one at the 2021 Blockchain Summit in Los Angeles, were filled with optimism. He spoke of a future where cryptocurrency could empower the disenfranchised and redistribute wealth on a massive scale. For Sam, the purpose was clear, and the destination was a world where money could directly translate into well-being. However, beneath the surface, there was a growing tension. The pressure to sustain FTX's growth led to increasingly complex financial arrangements. These strategies, while legal, danced on the edge of ethical boundaries. Sam, ever the pragmatist, saw these maneuvers as necessary, a means to an end that justified the potential risks involved. Yet as FTX expanded, cracks began to appear in the foundation. By mid-2022, internal concerns started to mount within FTX. Employees whispered about liquidity issues, and there were questions about the sustainability of certain investments. Sam, however, remained outwardly confident, continually reassuring stakeholders of FTX's robust financial health. His public persona remained that of the unflappable leader, committed to both innovation and ethics. The global cryptocurrency market was volatile, and FTX was not immune to these fluctuations. The pressure to maintain liquidity amid market downturns forced FTX into precarious positions. Despite these challenges, Sam continued to push for expansion, eyeing new markets and opportunities. It was a period marked by both ambition and apprehension. In private moments, close friends and colleagues began to notice changes in Sam. The weight of maintaining FTX's image and mission was palpable. Conversations that once brimmed with idealism were now tinged with anxiety. The world he had built, one that symbolized his deepest convictions, was starting to show signs of strain. Throughout this period, Sam held firm to his belief in the greater good. FTX's philanthropic efforts remained a cornerstone, with millions pledged to causes aligned with effective altruism. Yet, as the pressure mounted, questions about the sustainability of these commitments began to surface. The fall of 2022 marked a turning point. Reports emerged of financial discrepancies within FTX's ledger. The news sent shockwaves across the cryptocurrency community, raising alarms about the integrity of the exchange. Sam found himself at the center of a growing storm, his actions scrutinized and his motives questioned. Many in the industry speculated that FTX's rapid expansion had outpaced its ability to manage risk effectively. Sam's approach, once celebrated, was now under intense examination. The very strategies that had propelled FTX to success were now seen as potential liabilities. In the midst of the crisis, Sam reached out to trusted advisors and allies. He sought counsel from those who had been with him since the early days of his journey. It was a moment of introspection, as he grappled with the implications of his decisions and the impact on FTX's future. By November of 2022, the situation had reached a critical juncture. Investors once loyal began to withdraw their support, fearing for the safety of their assets. The trust that had been painstakingly built was eroding, and with it the foundation of Sam's empire. It was a moment of reckoning. The principles of effective altruism that had guided Sam's journey were now tested against the harsh realities of financial instability. The ideal of using wealth for good was overshadowed by the immediate need to stabilize a faltering exchange. Sam found himself at a crossroads. The decisions he faced were not simply about finance, but about the core values that had shaped his life's work. It was a struggle between maintaining the ideals he held dear and confronting the pragmatic demands of a collapsing system. The world watched with bated breath as the future of FTX hung in the balance. The whispers of financial impropriety grew louder, and the calls for transparency became more insistent. Sam's vision of using wealth for global good was now mired in controversy and doubt. Yet, even as the storm intensified, Sam remained resolute. He continued to express his commitment to finding a path forward, one that could reconcile his ideals with the exigencies of the moment. It was a testament to his unwavering belief in the mission that had driven him from the beginning. The cracks in FTX's foundation were now undeniable, an echo of the broader challenges facing the cryptocurrency industry. Sam's journey, once a beacon of possibility, was now a cautionary tale of ambition, risk, and the unforeseen consequences of idealism. As the dust began to settle, the stage was set for the next chapter in Sam Bankman-Fried's story. A chapter that would explore the collapse of FTX, the loss of billions in customer funds, and the profound impact on all those involved. The world of cryptocurrency is one often marked by swift ascents and precipitous falls. Sam Bankman-Fried, once hailed as a visionary, experienced both within a strikingly short span. By late 2022, FTX was considered a titan in the crypto exchange landscape. Yet just as quickly as it had risen, it began to crumble. In early November 2022, whispers of instability began to circulate through the financial corridors. A report by CoinDesk on November 2nd triggered the first tremors. The article revealed that a significant portion of Alameda Research's balance sheet was comprised of FTT, a cryptocurrency token issued by FTX itself. This exposure signaled a potential liquidity issue on the horizon. A week later, the whispers had transformed into a roar. Investors began questioning the viability of holding assets in FTT, and withdrawals from FTX surged. The collapse of confidence was swift and severe, with customers scrambling to reclaim their funds before potential insolvency could render them inaccessible. On November 8, 2022, FTX suspended withdrawals, citing a need to preserve liquidity. In the days that followed, a clearer picture emerged. It was a story of intertwined finances and opaque accounting practices that obscured the true state of the company's health. Sam Bankman-Fried, once seen as a beacon of transparency, faced an unprecedented crisis. The core issue lay in the complex relationship between FTX and Alameda Research. Alameda, a trading firm co-founded by Sam, had been provided with secret exemptions, allowing it to operate with a security buffer not afforded to other participants. It was granted the ability to hold a negative balance on the exchange, and this leverage was exacerbated by the declining value of FTT. The situation was further complicated by the dynamics of the crypto market itself. Volatility, a characteristic both feared and embraced by traders, now worked against FTX. As the price of FTT plummeted, so too did the perceived value of the assets backing Alameda's liabilities. On November 11, 2022, FTX filed for bankruptcy. The filing was a seismic event, not just for the parties involved, but for the entire cryptocurrency industry. Almost overnight, billions of dollars in customer funds were in jeopardy. The personal stakes for Sam were monumental. His reputation took a catastrophic hit as allegations of mismanagement and potential fraud began to surface. The young entrepreneur who had once symbolized the progressive potential of digital currencies now faced the sobering reality of legal scrutiny. John J. Ray III, a restructuring expert who had overseen the aftermath of Enron's collapse, was appointed to guide FTX through its bankruptcy process. In a statement, he described the situation as unparalleled in his career, noting both a lack of reliable financial information and unprecedented levels of operational dysfunction. Sam's vision of effective altruism, which once seemed so noble, now faced harsh questioning. Critics argued that his failure to ensure basic financial prudence contradicted the very ethos of doing the most good. The moral high ground he once claimed seemed eroded by allegations of negligence and hubris. In the days following the bankruptcy, Sam struggled to provide coherent explanations. Interviews offered glimmers of his initial intentions, but were overshadowed by the magnitude of the crisis. On November 30, 2022, during a highly publicized interview, he admitted to missteps while denying any intention to defraud. For the countless stakeholders, the loss was both financial and psychological. Employees, many of whom had invested not just their time, but also their faith in Sam's vision, found themselves navigating the fallout. Customers, left with frozen assets, voiced their frustrations across social media and forums. Beyond individual losses, the collapse sent ripples through the regulatory landscape. Governments worldwide began intensifying their scrutiny of cryptocurrencies, seeing FTX as a case study in the need for tighter controls. November 2022 marked a turning point for digital finance, as regulatory bodies questioned the very foundations of market oversight. Even as the dust settled, the legacy of FTX's collapse persisted. Debates flared up around topics such as the ethical boundaries of high-risk financial strategies and the responsibility of leaders in emerging industries. Advocates of cryptocurrency found themselves on the defensive, challenged to prove that the sector could learn and grow from such failures. For Sam, the personal toll was profound. The boy from Stanford, once seen as a pioneer, now stood at the center of one of the largest financial debacles in modern history. Friends and allies distanced themselves, and professional relationships strained under the weight of mutual distrust. Though the road ahead would be fraught with legal battles and public scrutiny, Sam remained a figure of interest, a case study in both ambition's heights and its potential for downfall. His story, far from over, now pivoted towards questions of accountability and redemption. As the chapter of FTX's collapse closed, another began to unfold. The legal proceedings promised to unravel the complex web of decisions that led to this point. Stakeholders and onlookers alike prepared to witness the coming legal and ethical reckoning. With each development, Sam Bankman-Fried's journey continued to captivate, as the world watched to see whether lessons from the past would shape his future actions. Chapter 7 awaits, where the consequences of these events come into sharper focus and the implications for the cryptocurrency industry are weighed. The courtroom was an austere arena, wooden benches lined with silent spectators, and the air thick with anticipation. In the heart of this setting stood Sam Bankman-Fried, a figure once hailed as a visionary, now at the center of a legal storm. It was November 2023, a year after the collapse of FTX, when the reality of Sam's actions began to take shape through the lens of justice. The charges were grave: fraud, theft, and violations of financial regulations, each charge more damning than the last. The testimonies painted a complex picture of ambition tangled with negligence. Former colleagues, once allies in the meteoric rise of FTX, now stood as key witnesses. Their testimonies described a working environment where risks were normalized and ethical lines blurred. They recounted how customer funds were allegedly misused to cover trading losses, a revelation that shook the foundations of trust. Sam's defense, however, attempted to shift the narrative. His lawyers argued that the collapse was not due to malice, but a series of unfortunate events compounded by a rapidly evolving market. Yet the question lingered: how could someone who professed to save the world through effective altruism become embroiled in such a scandal? As the trial unfolded, the courtroom became a microcosm of the broader ethical debate surrounding Sam's philosophy. Effective altruism, once a guiding light, was now under scrutiny. This movement, championed by thinkers like Peter Singer and embraced by Sam during his time at MIT, advocated for actions that maximize good. However, the legal proceedings raised uncomfortable questions about the movement's real-world application. Could the pursuit of maximum good justify unethical financial practices? Will MacAskill, a key figure in effective altruism and a confidant of Sam, found himself grappling with these questions. He had been instrumental in introducing Sam to this philosophy, which made the downfall all the more personal. In interviews, Will expressed a profound sense of betrayal and introspection, questioning whether the movement had inadvertently encouraged a dangerous level of moral flexibility. Outside the courtroom, the impact of FTX's collapse was palpable. Thousands of investors saw their savings vanish overnight, a financial tsunami that left lives upended. Jane, a former FTX user, had invested her life savings into the platform, believing in its promise of exponential growth. Her testimony was a poignant reminder of the human cost of financial misconduct. She spoke of sleepless nights and shattered trust, not just in FTX, but in the broader financial system. Moreover, the collapse of FTX sent ripples through the cryptocurrency industry. Regulators worldwide seized the opportunity to tighten controls, implementing stricter guidelines to prevent similar catastrophes. Cryptocurrency exchanges, once operating in a laissez-faire environment, now faced intense scrutiny as trust in digital currencies reached an all-time low. In the aftermath, the industry was forced to reckon with its ethos, balancing innovation with responsibility. Sam's story also sparked a broader conversation about the ethics of wealth accumulation. His belief in earning to give was premised on the notion that amassing wealth could be morally justified if it led to greater good. Yet, the trial exposed the potential perils of this ideology when coupled with unchecked ambition. Critics argued that the focus on outcomes could lead to a dangerous justification of means, echoing philosophical debates that date back to utilitarian theorists like John Stuart Mill. As the trial progressed, Sam's family remained a steady presence in the courtroom. His parents, Joseph Bankman and Barbara Fried, both respected law professors at Stanford University, faced their own reckoning. Their academic teachings on ethics and law were now juxtaposed with their son's legal woes. In interviews, they expressed a mixture of disbelief and support, emphasizing their son's potential for redemption despite his grave missteps. Amidst the legal proceedings, the media's portrayal of Sam shifted dramatically. Once a darling of Silicon Valley and the cryptocurrency world, he was now scrutinized under a different light. Journalists delved into every aspect of his life, from his upbringing in Stanford to his lavish lifestyle in the Bahamas. This scrutiny illuminated the dichotomy between his public persona as a philanthropist and the allegations of misconduct. The narrative of Sam Bankman-Fried was no longer just about one man's ambition, but had become a cautionary tale about the intersection of ethics, technology, and power. It forced those in the financial and tech sectors to reflect on their responsibilities beyond profit margins. As debates raged on panels and op-eds, a consensus emerged on the need for ethical guardrails in the pursuit of financial innovation. In the final days of the trial, the prosecution and defense presented their closing arguments. Each side appealed not only to the facts, but to the moral implications of the case. The jury, tasked with delivering a verdict, represented a broader society grappling with the challenges posed by technological advancement and ethical boundaries. Their decision would not only determine Sam's fate, but set a precedent in the evolving landscape of digital finance. As the gavel struck and the trial concluded, the world awaited the jury's decision with bated breath. It was a moment that would define not just the future of one man, but echo throughout the financial industry. Whatever the outcome, the story of Sam Bankman-Fried served as a pivotal moment in understanding the complexities of modern wealth, ethics, and responsibility. Looking forward, the lessons from Sam's journey would serve as a critical touchstone for future entrepreneurs and investors. As the cycles of innovation continue, the emphasis on ethical frameworks would grow stronger, ensuring that the pursuit of wealth does not come at the expense of human values. The legal and ethical reckoning of Sam Bankman-Fried was not just about justice, but about charting a new course for those who would follow in his footsteps. In the next chapter, we will explore the lasting legacy of this saga. We will delve into the measures taken by the cryptocurrency industry to rebuild trust and the broader implications for financial ethics. As we turn the page, we continue our quest to understand the delicate balance between innovation and integrity. The investigation into the collapse of FTX began in earnest in November 2022. Regulators, investors, and the public were all eager to understand what had gone wrong at the once-celebrated cryptocurrency exchange. At the center of it all was Sam Bankman-Fried, a young man who had been hailed as a visionary. Now he found himself embroiled in a scandal that threatened to tarnish not only his reputation, but also the broader cryptocurrency industry. The investigation was spearheaded by the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission, alongside other regulatory bodies. They were tasked with unraveling the complex web of transactions and decisions that had led to the catastrophic downfall of FTX. From the outside, FTX had appeared to be a robust and innovative platform, but the reality was starkly different. In examining the company's internal operations, investigators focused on several key areas. First, there was the issue of financial mismanagement. It soon became apparent that FTX had been overstating its assets, a fact that had misled investors and stakeholders alike. According to documents revealed during the investigation, billions of dollars in customer funds had been mishandled. FTX, once valued at over $32 billion, was now revealed to be a house of cards. Many internal documents, emails, and communications were scrutinized for evidence of wrongdoing. Sam Bankman-Fried, once known for his belief in effective altruism, faced accusations of deliberate fraud and deception. A key piece of evidence was a series of internal emails exchanged between Sam and his executive team. These emails suggested that Sam had been aware of the discrepancies in the company's financial statements long before they were made public. Despite being aware, he had continued to present a facade of stability and growth to the outside world. Interviews with former employees painted a picture of a chaotic workplace culture. Many described an environment where ethical lines were frequently blurred in pursuit of rapid growth and market dominance. Employees were often pressured to meet unrealistic targets, with little regard for the potential consequences of their actions. One former employee, who chose to remain anonymous, recounted an incident where they were instructed to adjust financial reports to better align with investor expectations. This manipulation of numbers was said to be a common practice, one that was tacitly endorsed by those at the top. The investigation also uncovered the use of shell companies to obscure the flow of money. These shell companies, often registered in offshore jurisdictions, were used to funnel funds between FTX accounts and those of its executives. This complex network of financial transactions made it difficult for regulators to untangle the full scope of the mismanagement. Among the most shocking revelations was the discovery of personal expenditures funded by FTX's coffers. Luxurious properties, private jets, and other extravagant purchases were traced back to the company's accounts. This misuse of company funds raised further questions about the ethical integrity of Sam Bankman-Fried and his associates. As the investigation progressed, parallels were drawn to other high-profile financial scandals, such as the collapse of Enron in 2001. Like Enron, FTX had been able to maintain a veneer of legitimacy while concealing massive financial irregularities. The downfall of FTX served as a stark reminder of the risks inherent in fast-growing financial technologies, especially when oversight is lax. Public opinion was divided on Sam's role in the debacle. While some saw him as a misguided idealist who had lost control of his creation, others viewed him as a cynical manipulator who prioritized personal gain over ethical considerations. The truth, as investigators sought to reveal, likely lay somewhere in between. Throughout the investigation, Sam maintained his innocence, insisting that he had always acted with the best of intentions. In interviews and public statements, he spoke of his commitment to effective altruism and his desire to use his wealth for the greater good. Yet, the mounting evidence against him made it increasingly difficult for many to believe these claims. In January 2023, the U.S. Department of Justice filed formal charges against Sam Bankman-Fried. He was accused of securities fraud, wire fraud, and conspiracy to commit financial crimes. If convicted, Sam faced the possibility of spending decades behind bars. The trial was set to become one of the most high-profile financial crime cases of the decade. Legal experts predicted a lengthy process, as both sides prepared to present their arguments in court. The prosecution aimed to demonstrate a clear pattern of deceit and manipulation, while the defense sought to portray Sam as a well-intentioned but ultimately flawed individual. As the legal proceedings loomed, the broader implications for the cryptocurrency industry were becoming apparent. Regulators worldwide were prompted to reconsider their approach to oversight and enforcement within this rapidly evolving sector. The FTX scandal had exposed vulnerabilities that needed to be addressed to restore trust in digital financial systems. For Sam Bankman-Fried, the journey from celebrated entrepreneur to embattled defendant was a dramatic and public fall from grace. It was a story that captured the imagination of many, raising profound questions about wealth, ethics, and the limits of altruistic ambition. As the investigation continued, the focus shifted toward the lessons that could be learned from his rise and fall. What remained was the task of rebuilding, both for those affected by FTX's collapse and for the industry as a whole. The legacy of Sam Bankman-Fried, once poised to change the world for the better, now served as a cautionary tale. Yet, amidst the wreckage, there was hope that these events might ultimately lead to a more transparent and accountable financial future. With the trial date approaching, all eyes were on the courtroom. What would be revealed as the truth behind FTX's collapse? And how would the lessons from this saga shape the future of cryptocurrency and those who dared to navigate its uncertain waters? The echoes of Sam Bankman-Fried's journey linger, leaving behind a tapestry of ambition, innovation, and stark cautionary tales. As the dust settles from the collapse of FTX, the world grapples with the consequences of his meteoric rise and fall. it becomes crucial to examine the legacy he leaves behind and the broader implications for both the cryptocurrency landscape and the philosophy that once fueled his dreams. Sam Bankman-Fried emerged from a privileged background, born to Joseph Bankman and Barbara Fried on March 6, 1992, in the intellectual hub of Stanford, California. Raised amidst academia, Sam's upbringing was steeped in a pursuit of knowledge and ethical inquiry. His early education at Crystal Springs Upland School further shaped his analytical mind. Sam's intellectual curiosity eventually led him to MIT, where he encountered the ideas of effective altruism and its leading voices, like Will MacAskill. It was here that the seeds of his future ambitions were sown, ambitions that promised to reshape wealth for the greater good. Effective altruism served as both a compass and a justification for Sam's later financial maneuvers. Rooted in the teachings of philosophers like Peter Singer, it advocated for maximizing positive impact with one's resource sources. Sam's interpretation of this philosophy molded his vision of earning to give, a concept that would later underpin his rise in the financial world. His time at Jane Street Capital honed his skills in trading, providing him with the tools to navigate complex markets, a training ground that prepared him for the tumultuous world of cryptocurrency. By 2017, Sam had set his sights on founding FTX, a cryptocurrency exchange that rapidly grew to become a formidable player in the market. Operated from a luxurious penthouse in the Bahamas, FTX embodied the cutting-edge innovation and frenetic pace of the crypto industry. Within a few years, it had become the second largest exchange globally, valued in billions. Sam was lauded as a visionary, a wonderkind who could merge financial savvy with a mission to transform philanthropy. However, this narrative soon unraveled, exposing fault lines beneath the ambitious veneer. The collapse of FTX in late 2022 marked a turning point, not just for Sam, but for the crypto landscape at large. Allegations of mismanagement and fraud surfaced, leading to a legal and ethical reckoning. Customers and investors faced significant losses, and the repercussions of these events rippled across financial sectors. The downfall of FTX signified not just a personal failure for Sam, but a profound cautionary tale about unchecked ambition and the volatile nature of emerging financial technologies. In the aftermath, questions arose about the sustainability of the ideals Sam once championed. Could effective altruism withstand the scrutiny that now accompanied it? Sam's story highlighted the challenges of adhering to lofty ethical standards within the cutthroat arena of global finance. The philosophy of earning to give became entangled with the moral complexities of wealth accumulation, a paradox that sparked debate among ethicists and economists alike. On the regulatory front, the collapse of FTX prompted renewed calls for oversight and accountability within the cryptocurrency industry. Governments around the world revisited their approaches to crypto regulation, aiming to prevent future debacles. The urgency was palpable, underscored by the sheer scale of FTX's implosion and its impact on trust in digital currencies. Discussions about safeguards and transparency took center stage, emphasizing the need for a more structured framework within which such innovations could safely thrive. For those who had invested their faith and funds into FTX, the fallout was both tangible and emotional. Stories of individual loss became touchstones of a larger narrative of broken promises. Yet amid these tales of financial ruin, there were also stories of resilience and rediscovery. Individuals who navigated the chaos to rebuild, wiser and more cautious than before. This human aspect of the legacy carries its own weight, illustrating both the fragility and the resilience of those who dared to dream alongside Sam. Reflecting on Sam Bankman-Fried's journey, it's evident that his story serves as a multifaceted lesson, one that extends beyond the boundaries of cryptocurrency. It challenges us to reconsider the narratives we construct around success and failure, ethics and ambition. The lessons learned from Sam's rise and fall underscore the importance of critical scrutiny and ethical introspection in the pursuit of transformative goals. Yet, Sam's legacy is not solely defined by his shortcomings. It also sparks a broader conversation about the future of finance and philanthropy, one that invites new voices to explore how wealth, technology, and ethics can intersect more harmoniously. The questions his story raises remain relevant, urging us to think deeply about what it means to use resources for good in an ever-evolving world. As we turn to the next chapter, the focus shifts to those who continue the work Sam began, the innovators, philosophers, and everyday individuals who strive to balance ambition with integrity. In their hands lies the potential to redefine the pathways that Sam once walked, to build upon the foundations of effective altruism and cryptocurrency with renewed wisdom and caution. With each step, they carry forward the lessons of the past, informed by the complexities and possibilities that Sam Bankman-Fried's story has laid bare. These are the stories we will explore next, as we delve into the continued evolution of the ideals and industries that shaped one man's extraordinary journey. Together, we will uncover how the legacy of FTX and its founder reverberates into the future, guiding new generations in their quest to navigate uncharted waters. As we close this chapter on the story of Sam Bankman-Fried, we are left with questions not only about him, but about the human condition itself. All too often, we find ourselves torn by the tension between lofty ideals and the practicalities of everyday life. In Sam's journey, we see the tale of an individual who believed deeply in the power of wealth to effect change. Yet his story reminds us of the delicate line between ambition and hubris. It reveals the perilous path that can unfold when the means, even with the noblest intentions, overshadow the basic tenets of ethical conduct. The rise and fall of FTX are emblematic of a broader phenomenon, the allure and peril of innovation, particularly in uncharted realms like cryptocurrency. We are drawn to technology that promises to revolutionize, to disrupt, and ultimately to improve lives. But such promises are double-edged, offering both opportunity and risk. Trust becomes the currency of exchange, more valuable than any digital asset, yet also more fragile. This story at its heart is about trust, the trust placed in a leader, in a system, and in the ideal of a fairer world. Sam Bankman-Fried's narrative stands as a testament to the complexity of human motives and the challenges of balancing idealism with responsibility. It forces us to confront the ways in which our desires to do good can become entangled with our personal ambitions. We must ask ourselves whether our ends truly justify our means, and at what cost. The lessons here extend beyond finance, reaching into the realms of ethics and human empathy. We are reminded that while intelligence and innovation are powerful, they are not substitutes for integrity and humility. The resonating hum of the markets may lull us with their promise of progress, but the stories we tell ourselves about money, technology, and goodwill require careful reflection. As this story drifts into memory, let it be a quiet whisper, a reminder of our shared human frailties and the enduring need for compassion over calculation. Let your thoughts settle like leaves on a still pond. Let the echoes of this tale gently fade. Outside your window, life breathes quietly in rhythm with the universe. And somewhere in the stillness of the night, perhaps a lesson learned finds its way into the corners of your dreams.